In this demo, we'll use Process Monitor to troubleshoot a Sage 100 payroll installation. First, we'll want to open up a web browser and download Process Monitor. So in the search field, we'll just go ahead and type in Process Monitor, and we'll want to download it from Windows Sysinternal's Microsoft Docs site. So we'll choose the first results here and then click on this download Process Monitor link, and we'll save it to our downloads folder. So let's go ahead and select open folder to gain access to the downloads folder, and let's right click this Process Monitor zip file and select extract all, and then click on extract, and that'll bring up the Process Monitor folder, which contains some help files and two executables. The first is procmon.exe, which is used for 32-bit and 64-bit operating systems, and we have the 64-bit procmon 64.exe, which you can only use on 64-bit OSs. In this case, I'll go ahead and right-click the procmon 64.exe since my workstation is 64-bit, and choose Run as Administrator. If you get the UAC prompt, go ahead and click Yes. And once Process Monitor loads, go ahead and click on the magnifying glass to stop capture, and then click on the Clear button to clear the results. We'll also want to deselect Auto Scroll. And now let's go ahead and click on Filter, and then we'll create our filter. And this is the most important part of using Process Monitor, is trying to filter out all the unnecessary entries, so you can only isolate it or try to view the least amount of information as possible to make it easier to isolate the issue or the cause of the issue. So in this case, since it's an installation issue for Sage 100, we'll use pvxcom.exe as one of the processes to look for. So we'll select process name is pvxcom.exe. That process is the program of one of the programs used doing the installation or merging of the ProvideX files, doing installation. That's where most of the issues occur when upgrading, migrating, installing Sage. So we'll set it to that and click on Add. We'll also want to add the installation file names for the update. So in our case, we're going to install Sage 100 Payroll 2.20.1. So we'll go ahead and add that program file to the filter. So process name is Sage 100 Payroll 2.20.1.exe. We'll go ahead and click Add and then Apply. And then we'll click OK. And we'll minimize Process Monitor for now until we kick off the installation. So at this time, you'll want to navigate over to where you downloaded your payroll update. So mine's is in my downloads folder. I'll go ahead and right click and select Run as Administrator. Then select Yes to kick off the installation. We'll go ahead and navigate through this installation wizard, and at the tail end we'll kick off Process Monitor to capture the events. We'll go ahead and click Yes to the end user license agreement. I'm going to install this to my 2019 installation, so I'll select Sage 100 2019 and click Next. Verify that the destination folder is correct. Go ahead and click Next. I'll enter in my administrator password, click Next, and now we're at the ready to install the program window. Let's go ahead and open back up Process Monitor, and we'll want to deselect Show Registry Activity and also Network Activity and Process and Thread Activity. So the only thing we should see is File System Activity. So let's go ahead and click on the capture button, and then we'll click on install. If you pay close attention to the installation output and process monitor, we create underneath the MAS90 install folder a PU temp folder that's used to extract a lot of the files that are merged together with the installation. We'll be using that in this, or at least a file in that folder, to help resolve this issue. So as you can see, we received the error message. So let's go ahead and stop process monitor, and we can go back to the error message and click OK. So normally with error messages within Sage installation, we hope that in process monitor we filter it good enough to where the end of the log file in process monitor is around the time where the error message occurred. We have done a good job at filtering it to be able to not have to rummage through a lot of this data here. So as you can see, at the end of pvxcom, it creates a log file here underneath the MAS90 mask_system folder for the data dictionary conversion for this update. So within process monitor, if we right click that path, we can do jump to take us to that file. So now let's go ahead and open that by double clicking it, and it should open in Notepad. So let's take a look at this log file to see if it has any information that can help us resolve the issue. It has a result here: the object could not be initialized, error creating PR dictionary conversion 0500. So it looks like that's probably a file. So let's highlight that and right click it and select copy, because we want to create a filter in process monitor to show us just that file, anything pertaining to that file, to see if we can see when it tried to create it or if it tried to find it. So let's close out of this error log and go back into process monitor. And a lot of times what you'll want to do too is kind of at the end scroll up and see if you may see an error message. In this case, here is the program looking for that file underneath different folders: SOA, mask_system, MAS90, and also the PR folder, which is probably the path that should exist. But let's go ahead and click on filter, and then we're going to create a new filter that only looks for that file, so ending with that file. So let's select path ends with, and then we'll right click and paste that file. Let's go ahead and change that to contains. So path contains PR underscore dictionary conversion 0500. Let's click on add, then apply. That file does exist underneath that PU temp folder that we create, but it doesn't exist underneath any of the existing folders, links, SOA, online, or PR. So I'm not 100% sure that file should exist under PR. So let me go to another installation. So I'll go ahead and see if I can navigate to my 2018 installation and look for that file underneath the PR folder. So it looks like it does exist underneath the PR folder for 2018. And if I go back to my 2019 just to confirm that it's not there, which it isn't. So let me go ahead and do this. We want to copy this version of it that's underneath the install PU temp PR. So we can right click here and select jump to. So that takes us to that file. So let's go ahead and right click it, select copy, and then let's browse to our MAS90 PR folder and right click anywhere in an open area and select paste. And let's go back to that MAS90 install directory. So what we want to do now is delete this folder. It's temporary, so it should have been deleted once the installation, if it was successful, it would have deleted it. So let's go ahead and right click it and select delete, and we'll minimize this folder. Let's go back to process monitor and clear the log, and we'll also click on filter, and we want to deselect that last filter we created to only show PR underscore dictionary conversion, and then we'll click apply, and let's kick back off the installation of the update. So we'll go ahead and select the same thing we did on the first attempt. And go ahead and start process monitor once you've started the installation. All right, we got a successful installation here. Let's go ahead and stop process monitor. One other thing to make note of is underneath the Mass90 home folder, we create a log file for our payroll updates called Sage Payroll Install.log. So let's go ahead and open that up. Right click and do a jump to. Double click that file to open in Notepad, and you can just take a look at it. It logs pretty much all payroll installations, so it's all included in one file to just update this log with the latest information. So this is for today. It'll show the version of payroll that I updated to, and I installed it over payroll 2.20.0.0. But just something to make note of. So I'll go ahead and close out of this, exit process monitor, and click finished here. Once again, thanks for watching this video. I hope that it helps you in the future when troubleshooting update issues. Thanks.